playing it wrong. You're never... What the fuck are you talking about? How am I playing it wrong? How could I possibly be playing the game wrong? I'm just jumping in with 2 new characters. I have no idea what I'm doing. Of course, I'm going to have to mess around to figure it out. Like, what are you talking about? Again, it's a bunch of fucking trolls.
Get my hands dirty.
And I'm not here to stream for trolls. So we could just go do something else. I mean it. Like, fuck this. No one cares about this game in my community, apparently. Because every time I play it, I get zero. Zero. I have 1 legit tip and 1 legit super chat for a grand total of $4 of support, or excuse me, $6 of support tonight. That's it. I don't know how to check my friends. I don't even know where the friends list is in this game. I have no clue. Anyone know where it is in here? Where the friends list is in the game? I have no idea. Look, I'm looking. It's not here, right? Nope. It was NGP member. I don't know. That's not it. I don't know. I have no clue where the friends list is in this game. Nothing. Nope. Nothing. Doesn't work. Right here. It actually works. Well, I got a $10 tip. Someone says, thanks for at least giving Marvel a chance. Yeah, but you guys see my point, right? Like, you see that what I'm saying is true. I'm not making it up. When I play this game, almost no one who really cares about the game shows up. There's like a small handful of people who even understand the game. They show up and try to help me. Everyone else that shows up is a troll who just yells and complains that they don't like it. And there's almost no support at all. So why would I bother playing this game when I could be playing anything else and it seems like people enjoy it more? I just don't get it. And again, I get it. I think it's a fun game. I think it's addictive. It's like Overwatch. I loved Overwatch. And by the way, I also had to stop playing Overwatch because the same thing happened with Overwatch where people didn't like it and wouldn't come and support those streams either. So I think we're seeing a pattern with these hero shooters, are we not? I'm about to just turn it off and just hang out with you guys for an hour. I really am. And we'll just talk for an hour and hang out and do Q&A or whatever. Because I'm not going to play this fucking game anymore. No one cares. You know, it pisses me off because I like it, and it sucks that I just can't play games that I like because I got to only play the things that people seem to want specifically. I can't just play a game anymore. So fuck this game. Not wasting time on it. I'm not wasting time on it. No one wants to see it, then I'm not going to fucking sit here and play it. So I'll tell you right now, don't ever ask me to play that game ever again. Everyone who ever asks for it will get an insta-ban since you want to act like that and you want to play like that. Right? So fuck that shit. It's that simple. So it was 100% a lie. 100% a fucking lie. All the people who said they would show up and they wanted it so bad and they were going to support it, they lied. They're all liars, so fuck them. We'll just hang out. I don't even care. I'd much rather just hang out with you guys and talk for an hour than play a game no one wants. That's more meaningful to me to hang out and talk and have some social interaction or whatever than play a game no one cares about. Why would I waste time on playing a game no one cares about, right?
What's this shirt he's wearing?
That is not focused at all, is it? Maybe it is. No, I'm not going to do another game. Fuck it. I'm not doing another game. We're just going to hang out for an hour, or I'll turn the stream off. It's one or the other. I'm not doing another game impromptu that no one was expecting, and then no one will show up for it, and everyone will complain, why am I playing this game? I need to get more water. I have no water whatsoever. I drank the whole water. I must have been really thirsty. So your super chat was $2.45, Abdullah? All right, I'll count that. And Stuart just did a super chat too. Stuart did a $2 super chat. He says, "Can we get Balatro?" No, like I said, I'm not going to do anything and start playing another random game now, because if I start playing another random game, I'll just get complaints that, oh, we didn't know you were going to play that game, and you know.
Let him have it, Black Ops. Nice. We're pulling ahead.
Oh, Stuart's super chat is $2.45. Oh, gotcha. It should be Stuart on the leaderboard, not you. Yours was $1. So this should be like 21. Not that it's a big deal. Okay.
This shit ain't working.
Yeah, I'm going to change the stream name to Impromptu Q&A since no one cares about Marvel Rivals. I'm just done with it. I really am. I'm just done with the fucking game. I'm tired of being asked for something that no one cares about.
Eyes on enemy.
At one point, I had a nice Q&A thumbnail, but I don't remember what I did with it, which sucks. Dang it. Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Damn, we've lost the lead.
Here. I'll put up a New Year's thumbnail. Happy New Year.
We got the lead. Now hold
Happy
it.
New Year. January 20th. Happy New Year. That's better than the other thumbnail, I guess. What really sucks is I actually purposefully did everything early tonight so I could stay later to play more Marvel, and no one cared. I actually say, I'm not even kidding, I did everything early so that way I could stay a little later and no one cared. It was just everyone fucking lying to me about the game, so. All right, well, let me post up that we changed gears here.
Come on, you're losing this fight. He's down.
Okay. All right. Like I said, I need to just refill my my water. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get a refill, and then we're gonna chill.
Took an incendiary. Oh, flashbang incoming.
I got the drip go. 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 I got the drip
It's
go.
like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like,
is what I mean. These dumb kids. That's what it is. It's dumb kids.
You've fallen behind.
That being said, Gavin, did you have a short clip from this Anna Kasparian, Megyn Kelly appearance that we could maybe all three react to before Mike skedaddles?
Yeah, let's quickly react to this. We're not going to make you watch much of it, Mike, nor do we want to watch much of it. But I think, this kind of sets the tone for Anna's new role in the media landscape.
Yeah.
So, she pops up here and kind of still under the auspice of like, oh, I'm here to represent the left, right? Sort of like Jank when he was on the America Fest panel with Charlie Kirk. Oh, I'm here to represent the left. Everyone on the left, consented to me being their representative. So here I am to represent the left. And everyone's like, boo, f you. That's actually on the left.
Sorry, mate.
In the same way, here's Anna still putting on this charade. It's kind of like when Fox News trotts out Tulsi Gabbard as the leftist, and it's like no one on the left claims Tulsi Gabbard. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or, RFK. There's so much diversity in Donald Trump's cabinet. He picked Tulsi Gabbard and RFK. And it's like everyone on the left hates those people. They're only beloved by the right wing at this point. And that's quickly, what's happening to Anna Kasparian. But again, let's take a look here and see what kind of pushback or perspective we get from Anna. This is a clip about rude male Democratic senators get destroyed by Pam Bondi.
Oh, using identity politics in the title, I can see. She's gone woke.
Exactly. Let's check it out.
Recently out of Harvard Law and had spent some time at CNN, and she got up there and turned the tables inside that press briefing room where she would attack the press. And Republicans hate the press, so it was absolutely risk-free for her. And it worked. It worked really well. Trump loved it. Republicans enjoyed it. People started watching the briefings again. They got eyes. I'm seeing this pattern now with Bondi, a little bit with Pete. They've been nice to Marco Rubio, but this is an effective tactic that, most importantly, I think, the boss enjoys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure if Trump was watching, he absolutely loved the way she handled the confirmation hearing yesterday. But I will say this. Look, I think she did a good job in terms of optics, for sure. I wish that the Senate confirmation hearings were less about the optics and politics and more about the records of these individuals. And so I would have preferred that she just said Biden won the 2020 election. That way it would take the one and only question away from the Democrats. Well, she said Biden is the president. She said he's president.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that allowed for the Democrats to continue asking the same boring question over and over and over and over again. And I would have loved for them to delve into her record in Florida, right? I want to learn more about her. I'm sure the American people want to learn more about her. But honestly, at this point, the Democratic Party has one speed and one speed only. And I'm sure it was aggravating for her as well to be asked the exact same question over and over again.
Increased tariffs on our trade partners.
What's her record, though, Anna? What's her record? Because on TYT, they actually had a pretty decent segment about Pam Bondi. She is extremely corrupt. And that's kind of saying a politician in America is corrupt is like saying ice cream is delicious. Nobody that's not it. It's obvious. But Pam Bondi is on a different level, and TYT did a segment about that, so I know Anna knows. So this let me just learn a little bit more about her. I'm just curious. No, you did the segment on her. Why didn't you share that with the right-wing audience? Why wouldn't you challenge them when you're in their echo chamber? Puncture that bubble. She's not. She's there to nod along and confirm their biases.
Exactly. And that's why, the only way the strategy from TYT would be at all forgivable, in my opinion, if that was the end result of it, right? Them going on these shows to aggressively push back, to call out not only the bullshit of the host, but to identify people like Pam Bondi as the corrupt monsters they are, in a way that can't even be denied by the right-wing audience of the show they're on. But that's not what happens. It's not what happens in any of these instances. Not in any of the appearances that Jank or Anna have gone on these right-wing shows. Not once have they really showed up with serious teeth and an ability to push back and change minds. which this should be about, right? If you're going to go on the platform as a right winger, you should at least go in there to change the mind of the audience, if not the hosts themselves. But that doesn't really seem to be the mission. It just kind of seems to be like, oh, I'm part of the panel. You know, I'm part of this ecosystem now. I'm here. I got a seat at the table. Don't expect anything useful out of me. Don't expect any actual contribution to the discourse or to the analysis that will benefit the viewer or the listener. But I'm here. I'm sitting next to Megyn Kelly.
Yeah. And her... Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say her extremely tepid criticism of Pam Bondi comes in the form of criticism that Republicans love to see liberals make. It's like, oh, I hate the Democrats. The Democrats are lazy. They get so fixated on one point. It's like, just get that out of the way, and then we can talk about real policy, right? Let's talk about our ideas, man. Let's talk about all these ideas we've got, you know? I'm still eagerly awaiting Dave Rubin's retirement. We'll see if he reneges on that promise. But the reality is that for somebody who is so disdainful, right, of anyone on the left, Anna Kasparian has said time and time again, she doesn't even really like being around people of color because she doesn't want to do anything that offends them, right? Yeah. She just wants to be coddled up with people like, you know, Glenn Beck and Ben Shapiro and the Iced Coffee Hour and whoever the fuck that jackwagon was with Megyn Kelly today. You know, she just wants to be friendly and in those social circles, but she completely rejects the left. I think she will be thrilled if she ever gets the opportunity to be the token, you know, left flank on the conservative panel. But to be honest, I don't think she offers enough exciting personality traits. I mean, she's a pretty woman, but she's blasé, but she's horrible on the microphone. So my big question for you, Mike, is do you think she ever gets her way? I imagine part of what keeps her at TYT is the fact that she owns equity in it and the fact that if she cashed out, it would be worth literal dog shit right now. I don't know that for sure. It's my speculation. I won't include you in that, Mike. But do you think she ever does have an opportunity to leave TYT for a more prestigious, more meaningful network show? Or do you think she's stuck there because she's a talentless hack?
Oh, that's hard to say. So as much as I am petty and I'm bitter that she like took this turn, I actually think that she does have talent. And I say this because like I was a fan of TYT before, like I knew Anna. And I liked her commentary. I think that she does a good job at explaining things. But in terms of like what her future is, I think that, you know, it's really hard to say if I'm being honest. Her utility right now, and the reason why her and Cenk are getting so many right-wing appearances is because they serve a very specific and necessary role for the right. And they're the liberals who come on and validate all the right-wing talking. So they can point to the liberal and say, hey, even this liberal thinks that other liberals are crazy. The left has gone crazy. They're talking about the max left. So if they actually give up that facade and they just go straight into being full-blown conservatives, that's when the well dries up. We saw that with Dave Rubin. We're seeing that with Jimmy Dore. Yep. You can never go full mask off conservative. You always have to kind of like play the middle. So if she plays the middle and she does it long enough and continues to like throw red meat to MAGA by shitting on homeless people and whatnot, I think that she can have a career. Because even if you like putting aside whether or not you think she's talented, they don't care about whether or not you're talented. It's just a matter of like what you say, right? So like, I mean, Matt Gaetz has a show on OANN, I believe is a network. Like there's a lot of talented hacks. Tulsi Gabbard was getting Fox. Would you consider that to be more prestigious than TYT though? Because I was more thinking like the big lights, you know, the $500,000 contract, the stuff that she really wants. Because I agree she would take a job at like News Nation or something, but I don't know. And I would be interested in your perspective on this too, Gavin. Like, is that really more prestigious than the Young Turks? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You think
100%. At least in its current form, yeah. TYT is like not getting a lot of viewers. And while I generally agree with you, like in a more just general sense, Mike, about how the value to what these people are doing is the fact that they're keeping one leg in the left wing camp. I actually do think TYT's at the point now where they've been so thoroughly rejected by almost every serious voice on the left that it actually would be more profitable for them to just straight up go MAGA. I think a big part of the issue they're dealing with right now is that they can't pick a team and that they're like halfway off the cliff and they want to disguise all this bullshit with like, oh, we're just being nuanced. And it's like, dude, no one wants your fucking nuance. You're either with them or against them. And I'm sorry if that's like simplistic or fucking animalistic or tribalistic or whatever, but that's what it is. So get with the fucking program.
1000% what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's like, I'm sick of this tepid, timid garbage where you're like, let's, see the shit on the left constantly and then act like we're still on the left, but give Trump constant credit. It's annoying. People don't really want to deal with it. It's kind of the reason why CNN has been failing so hard. They refuse to just pick a fucking team. Fox News,
They want it both
we're
ways.
Team Republican. MSNBC for the longest time was like, we're the fucking liberal network. They're falling apart now too. But CNN was like, we're going to be above the fray. We're going to consider everyone and all this crap. And it didn't fly. No one wanted that. And I think TYT is in a weird place now where they're trying to do this, like, bring the, like, enlightened centrism of Substack onto YouTube. At least that's what Anna's doing. And it's just all over the place. It's uncoordinated. It's, clearly Jink was resistant to this direction at first. We saw it on air with several debates between him and Anna. It seems like now after Trump's reelection, he wants to go in that direction, but he's still not quite ready to for a variety of reasons. So it's all over the place.
Well, I mean, think about this. Like, if you see Jen on Tactics Bet David, you hear these right-wing talking points or, soft Trump apologia, you're like, okay, this guy sounds good. And then you go to the Young Turks and there's more left-leaning rhetoric there. He's talking about how Trump is bad. I don't know what's on TYT. I don't watch TYT anymore. I only watch it through the proxy of the Vanguard, so I don't know if they're doing that. But like, you see the opposite rhetoric. It's going to be a little bit jarring, right? Like, think if we saw somebody who's like, hey, man, workers should own the means of production. And we're like, okay, base. Then we go see their channel and they're like, actually, Trump would brag about everything. Buy Trump coin. Like, it would be so jarring. It'd catch you off guard. And you think, okay, well, never mind. This person very clearly is just saying
like
what they want.
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this person is clearly speaking to that audience. They're not genuine. They don't have a thought in their head. It's just, hey, what does this audience want to hear? So I think that TYT is experiencing that. And what has truly been shocking to me is just how much their right-wing pivot has backfired for them. And part of it is because, they are the ones who chose this branding, the home of progressives. And it's not just like, hey, they've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years. They've been doing this for like 20 fucking years. Before that, Cenk was on public access television. So you can't,
it's so funny. I've been going down the rabbit hole of their old content. There's videos from them like 12 years ago of them like reacting to Japanese women making out on one episode of the Young Turks that people send us, because people send us like crazy shit. Yeah, I'll forward it to you, Mike, so you know it's real, but we don't have to react on.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
And they'll like call it like Japanese makeout videos, and then Cenk will be there like watching it with this like 22-year-old woman sitting next to him. They'll be like, I've been doing the progressive work longer than anyone else. Look at this video from 22 years ago of me talking about a woman who lost half her face to a chimpanzee. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like it really was a like post-Obama Bernie era where the TYT really leaned into the progressivism, from what I can tell going back through their catalog. Before then, it was just like left flank down.
Well, if you notice, they've gone through these phases, right? Like, they tried to be Howard Stern back in like the 2000s, 2010s. And then they kind of pivoted and were really full-on progressive. I think like the 2010s was my favorite era of TYT, when they were doing Wolfpack, trying to get money out of politics. They brought John on. That was like peak. That was before Jimmy went full Alex Jones. Yeah. And so then after that, after they took the Katzenberg investment money, then they went very like corporate in the sense that like they got the YouTube TV gig, and you see all these weird like apolitical shows. Like there was, Murder with Friends. There was like a more tech video game type one where they're just trying to be like a CNN type. And it just, that didn't go well too. So now
they basically tried to be Fox on YouTube, and it stopped working as soon as they expanded.
Yeah, which by the way, that one thing that, on the subject of like the Katzenberg money, that pissed me off because in 2017 I just hit 100K on YouTube, and that's when I joined TYT. And later that year, that's when they took the Katzenberg money. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Mike is a sellout. You're taking this Katzenberg money. I'm like, motherfucker.
Implicated.
I'm implicated. Yeah. God damn it.
How's that Katzenberg cash treating you, bro? How much you got left from the?
What was it like on Jeff Bezos' yacht, Mike? Huh? Yeah, were you swimming with the Obamas and Richard Branson?
Eating caviar, all that shit. Yeah, but and it's not like, I was pissed off about that. I always said like I disagreed with it, but like it just kind of like Cenk has never had regard for his brand as like the homo progressives. Like we're homo progressives when it suits us, right? We'll union bust and shit like that. It's just fucked up. So like he's never, like if you go back to the history, he's never really been like super leftist. He's always been capitalist, and being a soc dem is fine. Like I think that if you could normalize if you could radicalize normies like against the Democratic Party establishment, that's awesome. But the problem is now, like, you're kind of just in a way soft pedaling Donald Trump, and it feels like a Trojan horse. It's just gross. Like the whole situation with TYT, I've been like watching all your content about them, and it's been really cathartic to see, because like before I was like a part of TYT network temporarily, like I was genuinely a fucking fan of TYT. Like I wrote a college paper about new media and cited TYT. So it really does, it sucks to see them take this turn. And like I genuinely am rooting for TYT. I don't know that it can survive with Cenk and Anna, but like a TYT headed by like Francesca Fiorentini and John, that is a powerful TYT. And like with the way that they're doing this now, they're just steering this into a fucking iceberg. And all the people that work for TYT, I haven't met all of them. Just like whenever I go on shows, like you'll interact with them in the background. Best people ever. Like they actually believe. So like I don't want TYT to die, but at the same time, it's important to delegitimize Cenk and Anna specifically, because what they're saying is so fucked up. Like Tucker Carlson-esque talking points about the homeless.
Wait. Mike, you've never been to California. You don't know how all of their stogies and marijuana and large bowls of marijuana, they stopped at bowls. Now it's trash cans. They're just pouring all of their pot and drugs and amphetamines and needles, Mike, and needles at playgrounds and in your backyard. And you'll come home and there'll just be a homeless junkie buck naked in your bathtub, okay, with your wife, Mike.
They said that to me about Portland. Like, yeah, you wait until you see what Portland looks like. Like, oh, yeah, okay. What does it look like exactly? Why don't you explain to me? Yeah, like there's like unhoused people. We've always had that. There's like graffiti. We've always had that. It's beautiful. Now the people are just doing drugs in the streets. Like, yeah, because the unhoused crisis is so much worse now than it was like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, they try to use these big cities as examples that like, everything is bad with leftist politics, or when it's like the people who are governing these cities, they are liberals, they're neoliberals. Like that's not a good representation of leftism. And I find it so frustrating that like Cenk and Anna try to pass off like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass as the left when they're corporate Democrats.
Right. But then they'll act like, Kamala Harris was giving in to the leftists, and she lost because she was actually pandering to us or something. Because in 2019, she said one nice thing about trans prisoners or something. Like you have to go back all the way to 2019 to find her saying anything empathetic about trans people, and you're going to act like that's what cost her the election because she pandered too much to us and not the other way around. It's totally incoherent. Either way, Mike, really appreciate your insights on the TYT situation, on the Trump inauguration. Thanks so much for stopping by. Did you have any more questions for Mike, Zach?
Oh, no, really appreciate you coming by to shoot the shit. Congratulations on your breakout success. It's very inspirational.
Thank you.
Also, I just think we all have to, unify a little bit with the people who haven't lost their minds. I always look forward to having you come on the show because I like bouncing ideas off somebody who I know isn't crazy. So really appreciate you, Mike, and we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, after 4 years, we'll come back to whether or not I become crazy. But yeah, nice hanging out.
Shout out to you, Mike. Always great to get you on the show. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, keep crushing it.
Oops. There you go, Mike. Sorry.
I said keep crushing it. Okay, bye.
Hi everyone. So Lonabox has announced that he is quitting YouTube, and he gave a bit of an iffy answer for that. Like he said it was in part because he was supposedly harassed and smeared by me and his son. But I actually found out the real reason just now, and it's that Destiny cucked him. His girlfriend cheated on him with Destiny. His girlfriend, who of course in the first place was someone who he met because she was like a Destiny orbiter, and then she cheated on him with Destiny, and that is the reason why he's quitting. That's the actual reason, and he's using like this cover story of supposedly being harassed and smeared by me and Hassan, which is a ridiculous story on the face of it in the first place, because his entire content base is nothing but him responding to people and smearing them anyway. So, but yeah, I just want to make clear that before this video continues, because I filmed the rest of this video yesterday before I knew this. So I just want to make clear, Lonerbox got cucked by Destiny. The meme is real. And everything past this point right here is going to be me covering that before I knew that fact and sort of taking Lonerbox's excuse at face value. So watch it with that in mind. Lonerbox has quit YouTube. Lonerbox has quit YouTube, everyone. Get your best suit on now. It's finally happened. And I have the pleasure of telling you all that it's because of me. It's all thanks to me. No more genocidal pro-Israel propaganda from that one. And all it took was a little help from my best friend whose operations I constantly direct and who I'm in total and complete contact with all the time, Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker, thank you very much, my friend, particularly for what you said about 9/11. Let's get the latest news on this shocking development from the subreddit Hassan Piker. Lonerbox to take a break from streaming. Talks about psycho smear campaign against him because of Hassan's platforming. Let's check this out. Why is he playing a video game? Oh my god, he's on a fucking PvE server. Someone...
Are you going to stop streaming entirely or just make it less frequent? I don't know. I'm just going to take a little break, I think. I might still game, but as far as doing like political content, I'm just going to take a break from it for a while. Probably the gaming will come to an end soon as well.
Oof, 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 even the gaming. I even got him in the gaming. Even in the gaming, I got him.
I'm not going to stop like forever. I just need some...
Oh, it
doesn't matter.
Fuck. I thought we'd got him. What is it then? A temporary break to repair the mental damage from people like making videos refuting your arguments? It's not allowed. I learned recently that it's very bad to refute people's arguments. They expect to be able to make arguments without any sort of pushback or exception from anyone. I should start applying that. Like whenever anyone refutes my argument, I'm going to say that I'm getting harassed. I wonder if the circumcision guy refuted my argument yet. Hold on. Bad Empanada is afraid to debate circumcision with a shield for men. This is harassment. This guy is harassing me. I honestly feel so unsafe right now. This guy's harassing me. Anything else? Oh, look at these videos harassing me. They disagree with my opinion. I feel so unsafe right now. Anyway, that's the average YouTube when you respond to them. They make videos, they put them out there into the world, and then you respond to them. They're like, how could this ever happen to me? I made a YouTube video and someone critiqued it. Someone disagreed with it. Oh, that shouldn't be allowed. That's basically Lonerbox and everyone else. So like someone making a couple of videos refuting his videos is a smear campaign or a harassment campaign or even abuse sometimes. That's what I've learned recently.
What was the catalyst for that decision? Can't really go into detail. It's been a few things.
Say it.
Are you dying? No, I'm not dying. Shut up.
Well, not that. The other thing. Say it. Blurt it out.
I've just not been enjoying streaming. I mean, I like streaming. I just there's just a lot of things surrounding the whole thing that making it's just making me need to step back for a minute and reassess what I want to do going forward.
Say it.
Midlife crisis. Yeah, I want to get a motorcycle and sunglasses.
Get to the real reason. Say it. Blurt it out. We want to hear it.
Is it the IP discourse? Nope. It's a little bit frustrating that the psycho smear campaign against me has kind of succeeded, and it's basically all
the psycho smear campaign. That what that means is that my self-image as like a reasoned pro-Palestine person who just so happens to agree with Israel and everything was destroyed by someone showing that it's false
because of Hassan being willing to platform it.
And now he and like Ethan Klein and all those sorts of people, Destiny, are gonna like frame him as my victim. Another victim of Bad Empanada because like he got responded to in the public sphere and he couldn't handle it. Like there's nothing stopping him from streaming. There's nothing. That's a weird thing to me as well. Like Metatron, for example, responded to me after I responded to him, and I still get to this very day like 5 people leaving comments in like really robust old English. about like how much they hate me, but that has not stopped me from being able to make videos, from being able to keep on trucking. But there's so many people who just get debilitated by others responding to them. And it's weird, especially for Lonerbox. It was weird for Metatron too, because almost all of his content is reaction videos. And Lonerbox's content basically could not exist if he was not simply responding to others, because like I'd say 80% of it is responding to others or like debating idiot who I just randomly picked up from my chat. So it's okay for him to refute others, but it's not okay for him to be refuted. Remember that. That's harassment, that's abuse, it's smears. I find it so weird how they spin like getting responded to as harassment so easily and so fluidly. It comes with the territory of being a public figure. People will respond to you. You got to deal with it. Ignoring it is an option. Absolutely is an option. It's what most people do, really. They ignore it. You know, if I could wager a guess, what actually happened is he's not making enough money. I would guess he was being paid by Destiny at some point because he was contributing a lot to Destiny's podcast and stuff. But now it's like there's just no way he's making enough money. He doesn't get enough views. He doesn't upload frequently enough. And I doubt he's getting that much from like super chats and stuff on YouTube, because famously you don't make as much off them on YouTube as you do on Twitch. It's mostly ads. So like he only has a streaming channel. He abandoned his main channel. There's no way this is making money unless Destiny was paying him. And I would assume Destiny was paying him when he was appearing regularly with Destiny in person, but not anymore probably. So that's probably the real reason for it. That or there's a ceasefire and he's devastated that the killing is going to stop. One of those two. But either way, I think it's very interesting how it's always like I was responded to, I'm being harassed, I'm being smeared, I'm being abused. Like, even if it's like a mean-hearted response, even if the person who responds to you treats you like a moron and insults you 1,000 times, like it's not the end of the world. You can keep going. And I just find it so weird, like with the Kraut stuff recently and now Lonerbox, how you just let it get to you so much that you stop streaming or stop making videos. Or like in the case of Kraut, just let it consume your very being. I guarantee you that Lonerbox like considers himself like my victim. Genuinely. He probably thinks that he's like a victim of a bad empanada coordinated harassment mob. The reality is that like I probably could have just presented what he said without comments, but then I bet he still would have gotten angry with that. He probably still would have said that I was taking him out of context or something. And now his audience is like just blatantly pro-Israel. And I think he said as well that he doesn't want to work with Destiny anymore, which is like, man, you're fucked then. It's over for you. You don't have anything else. And it seems that a lot of people missed the thing that we uncovered recently. I did make a video about it, but in the comments on the Hassan Parker subreddit, no one mentioned it. But like, there was a clip of him from a few months ago where he speculated that doctors who said they had seen toddlers shot in the head were actually misremembering what were actually 17-year-old Hamas militants. And I think that was even worse than anything else that I've seen him say. Okay, so this is Lonerbox's reaction to a Jewish doctor stating that he had seen toddlers shot in the head in Gaza. Upon hearing that a doctor in Gaza testified to having seen tons of toddlers shot in the head, was to speculate that actually maybe those toddlers were 17-year-old Hamas militants, and the doctor was misremembering or lying in order to defend the Gaza genocide, in order to whitewash or deny the mass murder of Palestinian kids.
I don't even think he's necessarily lying. I think when people are describing atrocities and horrors or whatever, yeah, they might sometimes describe like a young person as a baby or a toddler. Yeah, that's like you can call a fucking 17-year-old a toddler if you're in the right mood for it. You know, it's not gonna thing to do.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I don't know how he ever maintained this image of like the reasoned centrist on Israel-Palestine when he was throwing shit like that out there. So yeah, what is there to say, man? I mean, at the end of the day, it is bad. It is always bad when someone who I can respond to stops making things that I can respond to, because it means that I can't respond to them anymore. And what I think a lot of people don't get is that YouTubers need, like at least politics YouTubers, even, most YouTubers who make anything resembling responsibly play off each other, or use each other's content as ideas. Even if there is antagonisms, you benefit from having them around. Lonerbox making that sort of thing has gotten me like hundreds of thousands of views. So it's like, in a way, it is kind of sad to lose him. He's my Joker, except significantly less cool. Anyway, I'd just like to thank my best friend, Hassan Piker, for helping me to defeat the Lonerbox. Israel's lawyer. They're going to have to fall back on Alan Dershowitz again, and that's not a good thing for them. See how that goes. My best friend Hassan Piker, who I talk to literally all the time, every single day. Every single day we conspire against everyone. Me and Hassan Piker, we get together in our bunker and we talk to each other all about how much, like which enemies we're going to target today for gang stalking and harassment. I recently learned as well, China has these, and now I feel like this uncontrollable urge to go to China. I need to go to China immediately. So it's time to make a video directly about the fact that Destiny, real name Stephen Kenneth Bonnell III, is a sex criminal. This is something that is very well founded in the evidence. Destiny is a sex criminal, and his community and the people around him are protecting him. They are protecting him rather than actually talking about this. It's all being swept under the rug with the complicity of dozens upon dozens of people who have community overlap with him, / who are too cowardly to speak out against him for fear of him denouncing them or his community going after them. At most, what they have been doing is quietly ceasing to collaborate with him or ceasing to talk about him, while not actually addressing what he did. And what he did is Destiny shared pornographic video and photos that he had filmed of others with a 19-year-old woman from his audience without the consent of those involved. And that is specifically a crime where he lives in the state of Florida and undoubtedly in most states in the USA. So he is a sex criminal, undoubtedly. The issue is, in order for that to, go to like the criminal stage, one of the actual victims would have to report him to the police. I seriously doubt that any of them are willing to do that out of fear of harassment or consequences for themselves, or perhaps some of them are like so indoctrinated into his cult that they just don't want bad things to happen to him, regardless of the fact that it is true. So there is a video of Destiny's ex-wife outright stating that Destiny did not have her consent to share with this other person the porn that he had of her, okay? And obviously I'm not going to show you the fucking revenge porn, okay? I don't even know if revenge porn is the right word, because, usually revenge porn you filter because you want to hurt the person specifically. But honestly, Destiny, shared pornography without consent because he was trying to impress like a 19-year-old with his supposed sexual prowess. It's still just as illegal. And I believe it does fall after laws that are known as revenge porn laws, but maybe it's not the right word for it. Either way, it's a crime. Dissemination of unconsensual porn. Now, whether the actual filming was consensual or not, I don't know, but certainly the sharing of it, at least in this one case, was not. And if he was sharing porn of people non-consensually in this case, I don't think we have any real reason to believe that he wasn't doing it in the other cases as well. How could he possibly have had permission from what was it, a dozen different people to share pornographic images of them? So this is Destiny's ex-wife. If he was willing to share intimate images and stuff of his ex-wife without her permission, then imagine how much less respect he would have had for all the other people involved, for all the other victims. And yeah, even talking sexually to a 19-year-old fan is fucking weird in of itself, even though it's not technically a crime. Sharing porn with them is weird in of itself. Sharing non-consensually sharing porn from people you actually know, that is another level of depravity and is actually a crime. So let's watch this.
Well, something I can't, I'm not going to go into detail or anything, but there's plenty of people that's wondering this, but I feel like this should be obvious. Nothing has happened with consent with anyone, not me and not anyone else. There's been no consent.
Okay. I actually forgot what she said in this. So she said there was no consent from her nor anyone else involved. Literally all of it was non-consensual. So straight up confirmed there. I guess it's not 100% confirmed because, it's just her word. But at least in her case, we can definitely say that Destiny did not have consent, and that is already enough to consider him a sex criminal. But if it's true that in the other cases that there was also no consent, then that's even fucking worse. I feel like we all sort of got caught up in the ridiculousness of the Destiny Nick Fuentes part, that we sort of missed the forest for the trees here with what was actually going on, which was actual just straight up sex crimes. Something that his fans are too fucking cowardly to talk about. And for me to actually disseminate this to people, I'd have to make a video on my main channel And I am certainly not going to make a fucking Destiny sex crime video on my main channel. Regardless of how serious it is, I'm not going to do it. Just don't want to.
So that's something that people seem to wonder about, and I feel like that's something that people should know, I guess. That's it.
So, I mean, that's really all that you need to see of this. It's confirmation right there that at least against his ex-wife, Destiny committed serious sex crime of non-consensual sharing of pornographic images. So without any fucking doubt, Destiny shared sexual images of people without their consent, or at least one person that we know for sure without her consent. And more than likely, much more than likely, all of the others were without consent as well. Now, as to how this actually filtered out, I mean, I don't actually know. I would guess it was either the person who Destiny was talking to leaked it, or some other sort of funny business or something. But he has not denied the veracity of this stuff. If anything, he sort of embraced it, but he's tried to embrace it in the way of like, haha, yeah, I do suck off guys. See, I am bisexual, so what? It's sort of like the Kevin Spacey thing, where when Kevin Spacey got accused of sexual assault, instead of talking about the sexual assault, he was just like, I'm coming out as gay, and ignored the rest of it. I choose to live my life as a gay man. That was it. Destiny absolutely committed sex crimes. Well, this is clearly like serious fucking shit. Like sharing fucking porn of multiple people without their consent. Even Nick Fuentes is a fucking victim of Destiny at this point. And no one's talking about this. It's crazy. Like I searched before this and the only person who had talked about this was like, I don't even know, like the literal like goblin/man. Like I don't even know how to tell you how he looks. Like Chud Logic, who was just like the biggest loser in the entire world. And that is like the one person who had made a video about this. Destiny's entire community, all of his orbiters are silent. All of his victims are silent. And I mean, I don't blame them. I would be too. Lonerbox, whose current girlfriend apparently had her own images filtered out without her consent by Destiny as well. Rather than openly denouncing Destiny for that specifically, he chose instead to be a coward and just sort of imply that he had a falling out with Destiny and they don't work well together, rather than actually outright saying what happened for real, being open about it. It is pathetic, and this guy is being protected by a whole fucking network of pathetic cowards and losers after doing something that in any other, so that, you know, if this got out there for like anyone else, there would be such a massive fucking outcry that, you know, their presence would be untenable. Past that point, their platform would basically be untenable. Like, I don't think, you know, they probably wouldn't get banned for it or anything unless they straight up got convicted of it. But, you know, people would just not want to watch their content anymore. It would hurt them hugely in that way. And that is why, like, you know, Destiny and his community and his orbiters are desperate to keep this under wraps. No one's fucking talking about it. Like, there's so many levels of depravity here. Like, the guy seeks out teenagers in his audience to try and like groom into like being with him sexually. He seeks them out. He just had saved, like, I don't know how much it was, but at least like what, like a dozen, maybe more, like images and videos of people, many of them who are fans who had done this to before. He had that saved and ready to like just send to this other fan who was doing it to now, which he also did without the consent of according to his ex-wife, any of the people involved. It's not okay to do this just because it's not with minors, you know? And I mean, I would understand, like, the people involved, like, if they had the courage to denounce Destiny, I'm talking about the victims directly, not like the orbiters and stuff. But if the victims actually denounced Destiny, their lives would probably be ruined. His fans would ruin their lives, his orbiters would ruin their lives, he would ruin their lives. So what can they do, you know? But the other people involved, who like sort of indirectly or directly leech up Destiny's audience, they have no excuse, aside from pathetic cowardice. So yeah. I just wanted to make a video on this because I missed the forest for the trees with the Nick Fuentes thing, which was very funny, but I didn't really consider everything else about the story, which I've only really been learning about lately. I only really looked into it after the Lonerbox thing, like Lonerbox hinting at his falling out with Destiny, which was apparently because Destiny had leaked, without his girlfriend's consent, sexual images of her, which is fucking insane. And listen, don't go looking for any of these fucking people. Do not go looking for any of these people. Don't talk to them about this. Regardless of how shitty and dumb they are, maybe for associating with Destiny in the first place, they're still ultimately his victims. So have some fucking tact. The only one of...
Well, you hate to see it, but our old pal Jerry Seinfeld has found himself in some hot water and seems to be having somewhat of his own personal Kramer at the Laugh Factory moment here. after he uttered some very controversial words about how he perceives the current state of the comedy world, and nobody can shut up about it. It's the only thing anyone in the comedy space has been talking about the past couple days. So, what did Jerry say that's got everybody frothing at the mouth, blubbering away like rabid dogs? It must have been pretty bad.
Nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so badly, and they don't get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day, most people would go, oh, Cheers is on, oh, MASH is on, oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on, All in the Family's on. You just expected, there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people.
Well, that is pretty stupid. Cheers is the most recent show he referenced there, and that went off the air over 30 years ago. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure there have been TV shows between Cheers and our present time that people have put on at the end of their day. Not sure if Jerry has been following the development of mass media and streaming over the past couple decades, but we are no longer all forced to watch the same 3 shows as each other, as there are now several wonderful streaming platforms, each with an endless selection of content for you to cook up your own televisual feast. But it all makes sense when you realize Jerry just turned 70, and he is now older than this old lady who played his Nana on Seinfeld.
You know? Oh, gee.
She was 69 when she filmed this episode. Shout out to Nana. So, it's important that we view Jerry through the same bias that we view this little old lady, because although it's easy to be tricked by Jerry's modern aesthetic, these two are the same, mentally speaking, and speaking in terms of just getting it, the general awareness level, you know what I mean? Maybe Jerry longs to return to the 90s, a time before PC culture ever existed, and television was just incredible. Nobody was scared to push the envelope, and nobody got offended by jokes. Nobody got offended in general, really. Everyone was just like our man Jerry here, the strong, stoic type. He's been on the front lines for decades, defending our freedom and making sure nobody breaches that wall. You know the wall I'm talking about, it's that comedy wall. It's a lot like that Berlin Wall, or that Great Wall over in China there. On one side is a verifiable utopia, a Xanadu-like palace, where comedians fearlessly dine on sweet honeydew, and free speech and chuckles flow bountifully and unfettered. And on the other side is an endless horde of evil, censorious inspectors, each with an insatiable desire to shut down all comedic pursuits and establish their own dystopian world, where comedy is forbidden unless approved by their discerning council of uncompromising tyrants. The comedy wall must be manned at all times, and I'm worried. I'm worried that our modern society has grown complacent, reveling in its treats and gadgets for far too long, that we have forgotten the importance of fulfilling our responsibilities to defend it, to defend that wall. Sometimes at night I wake up in a cold sweat from feverish nightmares just thinking about that wall. That wall. It was already almost breached very recently, guys. We came very close to losing it all.
A few years, I don't know when it was, but 8 years ago or something, it felt like, oh, wow. You know, people can't tell jokes anymore.
We kept doing it.
Well, I noticed.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we kept doing it.
You kept the little embers alive.
Yeah, well, it was flames. It's just, I think when there's social pressures and when society's in chaos, art does tend to thrive. Some kind of art.
Some art, that's right.
Comedy certainly does now. Like, comedy's never been better.
But it came close.
Time.
It came close.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the walls got breached.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No.
Comedy is but a tiny flame, burning amid the vast bleakness of the universe. It is kept ablaze by only 250 people. They are the keepers of the flame. But now that barbarian horde is organizing once again, and they've aimed their sights at our beloved Jerry, one of the elder keepers and one of comedy's greatest heroes. And well, it looks like our sage elder's wisdom has been proven accurate. But it's even worse than Jerry said. It's not just jokes that comedians aren't allowed to make anymore. Apparently they can't say anything at all. Because every day since he made his remarks, thousands and thousands of people are telling Jerry he's full of shit. And that he's deluding himself. Even Stuart Heritage waded into the battle, firing back saying, quote, Jerry's claim that wokeness is the reason why comedy is no longer as funny is lazy and inaccurate. And when Stuart's on your ass, you know you're in big trouble. So why are all these guys trying to attack Jerry and drag him down into the depths of despair in which they reside and fester in their unrelenting hatred for free speech and laughter? Well, Jerry's about to drop what I can only assume is going to be one of the most controversial films of the year. Certainly the most controversial in Jerry's filmography.
When you decide, you know, wherever you are in your house and you go, you know what? I'm gonna have some cereal. So you go to the kitchen, you go to the cupboard, you open the door, and what the first thing you see is those colorful boxes. So I want the movie to feel like that exciting feeling of colorful boxes.
It definitely does.
It's called Pop-Tarts. No, it's about Pop-Tarts, but it's called Unfrosted. And those reproachful cretins who want to deny Jerry's right to free speech are doing everything in their power to prevent you from bearing witness to this, what I can only assume is a very wonderful film.
Isn't this a cereal company? Why did my husband explode?
But as I was gathering clips to put together this video in Jerry's defense, I stumbled upon several clips that have left me severely confused and struggling to make sense of it all. Jerry was on Ricky Gervais's Sirius radio show in 2018 when Ricky brought this subject up, and Jerry had a radically different opinion.
But we don't tell certain jokes because we know they're, in inverted commas, wrong.
Always. We've always done that. The mental agility that is required to execute this job is an essential part of it. Comedians complaining, oh, I can't do this joke now because so-and-so is going to be offended. That's right, you can't. So do another joke, find another way around it. It's a different word. It's like slalom skiing. You have to make the gates.
And then on the same press tour, where he said the original comment that sparked this whole stupid thing, he said this.
Political correctness is something worried about people that can't think. The stupid mistakes I see people making sometimes, offensive, unnecessary insensitivities. It's like, you know, pick up a paper, find out what's going on, and then just navigate around it.
How do you square that with this?
And you now need to apologize. I mean, there's a creepy PC thing out there that really bothers me.
It doesn't make any sense why he's bothered by any of this. He's literally the cleanest comic of all time. One of the only edgy things he's done is featuring far-right comedian Mark Norman as his opener. But other than that, Jerry kind of acts as a de facto comedy PC police. He enforces his own strict PC version of comedy, and he has a history of condemning offensive jokes that he thinks cross the line.
You're saying I'm Mr.
Yes, you are the nearest fucking white man. Oh, amazing.
I don't think he could do that.
I was digging deep into the archives for examples, and I stumbled upon this. I found this video on Too Lazy 2 Try's Patreon page. I don't know how he got it, but it's legit.
Shut up! 50 years ago, you had your upside down with a fucking fork up your ass! Rolls out, he's on it! He's on it!
Oh my God.
Okay, not the most thought out bit, but it is stand-up comedy. But the real laughs from that joke come later, when Jerry drags Kramer onto the Dave Letterman show to apologize for the bit.
Have him live via satellite from Los Angeles. All right, this should be Michael Richards. Michael, are you there?
Hello, hi.
How you doing?
I'm not doing too good.
Yeah. Why don't you explain exactly what happened?
I lost my temper on stage. I was at a comedy club trying to do my act, and I got heckled, and I took it badly and went into a rage, and said some pretty nasty things to some Afro-Americans, a lot of trash talk, and
Stop laughing, not funny.
And what with the
Stop laughing, not funny.
The fact that any comedian, but especially Jerry, has ever uttered the words "stop laughing, it's not funny" is actually insane. You can even hear Dave laughing at Jerry saying it.
Stop laughing, not funny.
As Jerry has said many times, funny is funny. When you find something funny, that's gold. And you don't just toss precious gold away and pretend it's nothing. And as seen in this clip, the audience at the David Letterman show struck gold when they were blessed with the opportunity to witness the bizarre moment where Jerry dragged Michael Richards onto the least sincere comedy talk show ever to apologize about his public meltdown. Or maybe this was just Jerry chasing a sick thrill by forcing a lesser comedian to be publicly humiliated. That's the only explanation that makes any sense for the "stop laughing, it's not funny" comment from Jerry, given his previous remarks emphasizing that funny is funny.
Comedy is its own thing. Comedy is, it's like gold. And when you're mining, when you find it, it's gold. Nobody cares what rock it was in or how it was found or what it relates to, or it's just gold. So if something's funny, it's funny. There's no need to define, explain, or justify it.
And did you? I know. I mean, hearing your audience laugh, and it's. I'm not even sure that this is where I should be addressing the situation. I've already heard you make some jokes about it, and that's okay, But I'm really busted up over this, and But you can't. I know blacks could feel I'm not a racist.
And I certainly hope you don't have regrets about being on this show this evening. Thank you. All right, take care.
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
And it's not the only time Jerry has publicly humiliated a lesser comedian for his own sick thrills. He once exploited Adam Sandler for the same purposes, back when Sandler was just starting out. As you likely know, Jerry prides himself on having a clean act. He never swears in his act, ever. And he considers cursing to be cheating.
Interesting comparison here, which is that everybody here is filthy except for you. You're perfect.
Really?
You're perfectly clean. I mean, you never curse.
Perfect.
Do you say shit on stage or asshole?
No.
So when he hired a young Adam Sandler to open for him, Jerry expected him to have a clean set, which he knew Sandler didn't have.
Now pull up my scrotum and take the shampoo bottle out of my ass.
Sandler had no choice but to accept his miserable fate and bomb on stage for 15 straight minutes in front of his own parents. That's pathetic.
My mother never came to see me do stand-up. I opened for Seinfeld. He let me open for him in Boston one night, and my parents are in New Hampshire. And to open for Seinfeld, I said, well, he doesn't curse, so I can't curse. And I told my dad and mom, hey, I'm doing Seinfeld. Whoa, that's a big deal. And they were so excited. I said, if you guys want to come, and because I'm not allowed to curse. And so my father's like, Judy, we'll go. And they both came. And because it was a clean set, I wasn't used to it, and I fucking ate it for 15 minutes. Oh. And my poor parents were watching me just fail miserably. And then Seinfeld went on, and it was fucking, 2 hours of destruction.
Yeah. I have to assume Jerry knew that was going to happen and orchestrated the whole event to carry out his own perverse idea of having fun. That is sick, twisted stuff. I think that in order to understand what's going on in Jerry's mind, we need to revisit our old pal Carl Jung and his concept of the shadow. This is the part of our unconscious mind that holds all the things about ourselves that we repress, whether because they are evil, socially unacceptable, harmful to others, or detrimental to our own health. Right on. And it makes sense in Jerry's case. Simmering below his outward persona, Jerry's shadow is a resentful, angry, and very scared creature. Jerry, out of necessity, has constructed his ego, which enforces the clean comedy mandate. Because if the shadow was let loose, as his friend Kramer once experienced, it would be the end of his career. And his career is the foundation of his sense of self. So if he loses that career, he loses himself, and he dies an agonizing spiritual death. A comic in a similar situation is Bill Burr. But unlike Jerry, Bill has pretty successfully managed to tame and harness his deranged shadow for the benefit of his comedy. And in fact, Bill recognized Jerry's shadow, and he brought it up with Jerry on the Coffee Car Show.
People for years have said he has an act about nothing. No, it isn't. You're not listening to him. You're not seeing the anger underneath these bits. This guy has contempt for humanity and for 90% of activities.
Oh, my God.
I was doing a show to a comic called Gotham, and then him and George Wallace, who's like the sweetest guy, they were going to do spots on the show. The club called me. They're like, is this okay? And I'm like, is it okay if Seinfeld? So they came, and then I walked up to Seinfeld. I just wanted to say, hey, thank you for coming. I was like, hey man, thank you so much for coming. And he looked at me and then just looked the other way and just walked the other way. Yeah.
Didn't acknowledge you.
Didn't acknowledge and then decided to not acknowledge.
Really?
Okay, well, in that example, Jerry actually exemplifies a high level of awareness. Well, yeah, never mind. I can't hold that one against him. But there is, of course, another famous clean comedian, one who harbored an incredibly corrupt and twisted shadow, and that's Bill Cosby. As Jerry likes to say, we don't have time to have that conversation right now, but we all know how that guy's story went.
Right.
Louis C.K. tried very hard to balance his shadow, sprinkling in bits from his shadow into his act. But he was unable to maintain a stable equilibrium, and he ended up doing that whole jacking off in front of captive women thing. Whatever happened there. But before Louis' shadow was exposed to the world, Jerry remarked that he admired his ability to do comedy without concern for what the audience will think, saying, Louis' great gift is that he doesn't worry, he just does his thing.
It's all about context.
It's a way.
It is all about context. You know,
to me, it's all about fear. You're fearing this bit's not going to work. I mean, you feel the audience's fear, your own fear. The whole show is about quelling fear.
What do you fear now?
The same thing.
What though? What's that? That they don't
It's not
laugh?
going to work.
Even to this day, after all the success he's had, Jerry is still completely terrified of bombing, and he seems utterly perplexed that his comedian friends don't seem to be haunted by the same persistent feelings of dread. He even seems to be panicking a bit.
You don't even feel your feet when you're on stage. You don't feel your body. You know, you're kind of in hyperspace. The brain is sped up because you're in a fight or flight condition. You know, it's a very moment-to-moment survival environment.
So as the evidence shows, Jerry lives in a state of constant fear because his entire sense of self is derived from what his audience thinks of him. And he's put up these rigid guidelines for himself about being clean in order to ensure that his shadow is never too exposed to the public, lest his career and his entire sense of identity collapse into oblivion. A very common trait in stand-up comedians, but it's just surprising that someone at his level would still wrestle with that. So far, although he's allowed some things to leak out occasionally, Jerry has managed to keep a pretty tight seal on his repressed shadow self, but nobody's perfect.
We better get started. My daughter's going to be here soon.
Oh, you have a daughter?
Yeah, she just turned 15 last week.
Oh, that's a funny.
She just turned 15 last week.
The actual Jerry Seinfeld dated a high school student. Meeting her when she was 17.
Oh, that's a funny.
The two were an item throughout her university days. And Jerry also allegedly made 2 attempts at engagement.
Just a little shadow leakage there.
I didn't realize she was so young.
Whoops.
This is the only girl who I ever went out with who was that young. I wasn't dating her. We just went to a restaurant, and that was it. Shoshana is a person, not an age. She's extremely bright. She's funny, sharp, very alert. We just get along. You can hear the click. I don't meet that many women I like, period. So when I like someone, I don't care about her race, creed, or national origin. If I like her, I don't care. I don't discriminate. If she's 18, if she's intelligent, that's fine.
So, there have definitely been some leaks, but
She just turned 15 last week.
something happened that set off a chain of events from which I'm afraid Jerry will never recover. He bombed, and he bombed badly. And the trauma of this incident was so severe that it created an unsustainable destabilization within Jerry's troubled psyche. This happened in 2015, and Jerry, who was famous for repeating the same jokes for decades, was finally trying out some new material. And he made this joke about people being overly attached to their phones.
I do this joke about the way people need to justify their cell phone. I need to have it with me because people are so important. You know, I said, well, they don't seem very important the way you scroll through them like a gay French king. You know, it's just...
The joke is incomprehensible. Let's be honest, it sucks. And the audience at his stand-up show let him know that.
I did this line recently in front of an audience, and you get comedies where you can kind of feel like an opinion.
Come on, Jerry.
And they thought, what do you mean gay? What are you talking about gay? What are you saying gay? What do you do? What do you mean? You know? And I thought, are you kidding me? I mean, we can't even.
Stop laughing, it's not funny. So already Jerry has turned this little story into propaganda as part of his cope. And Seth Meyers has to sit there and awkwardly oblige Jerry as he corrupts his platform to disseminate the message. It's a pretty wild claim he makes. Jerry says he could feel the opinion of the audience, revealing that this is all just stuff bouncing around inside his own neurotic head. Nobody even said anything. When people experience trauma, they can come up with all kinds of different ways to recontextualize what happened to them, creating their own alternate reality as a coping mechanism. This here is the foundation of what we'll call Jerry's terminal cope.
There are more people now who will let you know if they think you went over the line than ever before.
Don't I know?
I mean, you have to feel the same way about comedy.
Yeah, but they keep moving the lines in for no reason.
They keep moving the lines? Jerry, you said a comedian's job is to navigate the ever-changing slalom ski course of our culture and society. You've said this for decades, but suddenly and without explanation, you've completely changed your philosophy on this topic. And this shift just happened by chance to occur immediately after your gay king joke disastrously bombed. Oh, Jerry. Oh, that's bad. So this attempt at a new joke bombed big time. And this shocked Jerry, who rarely bombs because he has been such a beloved entertainer for so long that people are really just happy to see him and be at his show. They'll laugh at almost anything. To cope with that fact, Jerry has convinced himself that people come to see a comic's act rather than the comic, which is ridiculous.
Are they coming to see you, or are they coming to see the act?
They're coming to see you.
Weird.
Is there? Well, of course they are. They're not coming to discuss the evolution of the comedy. They're coming to see Jerry Seinfeld.
That's what I said.
It's an event.
As you can see, these professional comedians agree with me, so it must be true.
It's not funny. There's nothing funny about this. You're correcting my name.
Jerry has coasted on his notoriety for ages, but as time goes on, it's only natural that Jerry's lost some of his cultural relevancy, and he just isn't as revered as he once was. And that realization first struck him after the Gay King bomb, and that had to hurt because all the evidence we have points to Jerry being an incredibly sensitive guy. He is so sensitive that he has harbored a grudge against comedian Bobcat Goldthwait for over 30 years because of a joke.
I'm gonna do all the material I can never get to do. Oh, God. I might as well do a little Seinfeld bashing while I'm at it. No.
He's very popular. You don't want to do that.
He's the devil.
No.
He's a spooky, weird Scientologist guy banging teenage girls.
That's all it took. And the teenage girls thing is true. How can Jerry even be mad? That happened in 1994. In 2019, nearly 30 years later, Jerry brought it up on his Cars and Coffee thing.
I'm good friends with that's his.
I don't like him at all. In fact, I have a particular feeling about him. I had kind of forgotten about him. And then there was a little article about him in the paper. And even in that, there was a veiled reference to his dislike of what I did. But it didn't have my name, of course.
Oh, did he bleep it out and put a black bar over his mouth?
He used to rail against comedians if they weren't as wild and dangerous as he was, because he sucked, okay? He wasn't funny.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Period.
This is literally assault.
I feel very tense right now.
Not good.
That's why he didn't like me, because I could actually do it. I can do it. I can do comedy.
This is terrifying.
He can.
So this article didn't even mention Jerry's name, and Jerry, assuming it's about him, derides the fact that they didn't have the guts to call him out directly. But Jerry didn't even have the guts to call out Bobcat directly in this coffee episode. But, I mean, you can clearly see what Bridget says here despite censoring her face and bleeping her voice. This is fucking insane. And now he just sits here and tortures his guest just for being friends with Bobcat. Look how uncomfortable she is. Sorry, this is just fucking insane. Holy shit. It's really all hitting me right now just how deranged Jerry actually is.
I can do it. I can do comedy.
Yeah, but you can.
He can.
Jesus Christ, we get it.
I really bug him for this long, and it's. I don't even think it's about the jokes I made. I think it was about I didn't fit in his idea of what comedy should be. I remember like I was at the Improv, and I went up and people were happy to see me, and he storms out of the room, like all pissed off, and it's just like. And at the time, he's like hosting the Tonight Show.
Jerry also held a 30-plus year grudge against Comedy Store owner Mitzi Shore because back before Jerry landed his television series, she said he wasn't funny, and she didn't want him performing at her club. Uh-oh. Well, surely after 30 years of enjoying unprecedented levels of success in comedy, Jerry has forgotten all about it. Well, in 2018, as Mitzi was literally on her deathbed, the club's new management finally allowed Jerry to perform. And as Mitzi lay there dying, gasping her final breaths, Jerry took the stage and ruthlessly unleashed 30 years of pent-up rage and hatred for Mitzi.
I had to follow Seinfeld at the Comedy Store. Toughest follow I ever had in my entire life. Because all he did was talk about how Mitzi, the owner, told him he wasn't funny the last time he was there. This lady told me I wasn't funny. Wonder how she's doing now, all this stuff. Like, and she's like, everyone knows she's sick and old. And I bought a house above her house so that she could see me driving a different car all the time. I'd beep as I went by. Still not funny. I mean, he's destroying. It was like evil, cool fucking Seinfeld.
He also demonstrated his volatile sensitivity when he was so paranoid that he thought Larry King alleged that Seinfeld was canceled by NBC.
Lasted how long?
9 years, 180 episodes.
You gave it up, right?
I did.
They didn't cancel you. You canceled them.
You're not aware of this?
No, I'm asking you.
You think I got canceled? Are you under the impression that I got canceled?
Have I hurt you, Jerry?
I thought that was pretty well documented. Is this still CNN?
Don't most shows go down a little?
Most people do also.
Yep, most people do. The Cosmic Gardener comes for all of us guys, whether you matter or not. He is the keeper of the ledger for the cult of nature, and he will balance his book. So, with Jerry being such a verified, dangerously sensitive guy, that bombing must have really stung. That is the rare kind of life event that challenges your identity and even your understanding of reality. And these bombs are starting to pile up and cause massive, permanent psychological damage.
I had this amazing bit about wedding. It was like, it was fantastic. It was a great bit. And I worked on it, and I love developing and polishing every little detail of the bit. So it takes me forever. I start into the bit and somebody yells, "Heard it," you know, and that was a tough one. I still think about it. It was mean. It was true.
This next clip is hard to watch. It's a bit of a double bomb. He describes yet another recent new joke that bombed, but then he bombs again, trying to convince this poor interviewer that this is some great joke.
I had a bit about poker that they hated.
They?
And
interesting.
I got mad about it. I actually did it on television, and it bombed, and I got so mad. It's about how I think poker is a horrible thing. You know, the mood in this room is horrible. Why are we trying to...
What a pointless and stupid few days that it has been, which of course led right into Inauguration Day for President Donald Trump.
Sorry, wrong salute.
We'll get to that. But yeah, so we'll also get to how the ceremony went and give you a rundown on all of the important statements, goals, and executive actions that Trump has already taken on his first day in office, as well as a preview of the unfortunate days, weeks, and months to come. But of course, we do have to start with TikTok, which actually took itself offline on Saturday night, just hours before the ban was set to take place, solidifying the former administration as a failure in the minds of everyone who had enjoyed the app or had built a small business there, a complete and total unforced error executed at the last possible second in order to leave a lasting image in people's minds, and with a bunch of in-app notifications that literally groveled at the feet of Donald Trump, thanking him for his glory and graciousness.
Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
And allowing to the app to stay online, despite this just being a can that has been once again kicked down the road and will ultimately result in a U.S. buyer who will almost certainly destroy the app.
I'll say this. I've repeatedly said how I was ready to give President Xi my data, but like the TikTok algorithm never worked for me. It never got exciting. But last night, or I guess 2 nights ago, by the time you're watching this, I was like, you know what? It's going away in a couple hours. Let's give it another shot. And it was just banger after banger.
Yeah, all the hits.
Yeah, the imminent demise of the platform. It really people were spitting.
That's right.
And it was pretty fun. And then lo and behold, wake up the next day and it's not gone.
They got you.
Because listen. So this was an easy and early win for Trump on the PR front, especially with the messages that were displayed front and center on the phones of over 100 million U.S. citizens. The first one, sent out Saturday evening, started warning users of the impending outage, but then shortly after the warning was sent out, people who were using the app or opened it to check the status were greeted with the following message. Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. Now, the fact that ByteDance had actually taken the app offline was surprising on its own, but this ban also affected other popular apps as well, including the popular mobile editing software CapCut and the mobile trading card game Marvel Snap.
Thank you, Joe Brandon, for finally setting me free.
Marvel Snap got snapped.
That's right. Obviously, a lot of the focus is on just TikTok and not these other apps. So, I mean, I didn't check it today because the curse has been broken, but for hours after TikTok was reinstated, Marvel Snap was not available.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, I mean, they targeted gamers.
Yeah, that's right. Now, what followed were hours of chaos with social media refugees scrambling to sign up for alternatives and start posting all of their archived videos elsewhere. And also countless farewell videos from creators to viewers that were, I mean, obviously very sad to see. These people built businesses and followings there, and through no fault of their own, the platform was taken from them, at least temporarily.
Well, they didn't know that.
The reactions to the app going down ranged from actual sadness to a lot of self-deprecating humor. Some, however, didn't take the news or their forced separation from the app so well, because a teenager in Wisconsin is being charged with arson after he allegedly set fire to a local congressman's office while the ban was in effect.
Okay. Damn, all right.
And he admitted, he was like, yeah, this is because they fucking banned TikTok. So here's local Milwaukee outlet, the FDL Reporter, with more.
All right. A 19-year-old man accused of setting fire to a building in Fond du Lac early Sunday that included Republican U.S. Representative Glenn Grothman's office cited the TikTok ban as a motive in the incident, according to authorities. Fire personnel extinguished the blaze, which began outside the building and burned the building's outside siding and an air conditioning unit. Police said the 19-year-old suspect admitted to starting the fire in response to recent talks of a TikTok ban. Grothman was among a bipartisan majority of 360 House members who voted last year in favor of a bill that would force TikTok's Chinese parent company to sell the app or face a ban in the U.S. That ban went into effect over the weekend. I don't even know yet what happened other than somebody tried to set a fire over TikTok, Grothman said in a brief interview Sunday morning. Grothman told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel the suspect was arrested at the scene because he was just sitting there watching it burn.
Okay, so yeah,
he was Jokerfied.
He had been Jokerfied. That's right.
And that's just, I mean, I find it hard to believe that only one person was Jokerfied by this scenario, given how many users TikTok has. So yeah, that kid, he was taking it well. Processing things in a healthy manner. Let's check in on the graphics department over on Fox News Sunday with host Shannon Bream and see how they're handling the news. Okay, so that's just the host speaking with Republican Senator Dave McCormick about the ban. Oh yeah, there it is. The chyron during the segment read, TikTok shuts down in the U.S.
Wow, Fox, on Sunday, the Lord's Day, you're talking about TikTok? Unbelievable.
TikTok.
Yeah.
They must have been doing like speech to text, maybe?
No, that would make even less sense. Yeah, make sure it says TikTok. No, I think they just switched the letters. Anyways, none of that mattered at all. This was all performative bootlicking on behalf of ByteDance because the app was back online in less than 24 hours.
Thank you, President Trump, for saving us from the evils of the Joe Biden administration.
Chairman Trump, we love you.
We love you, and we'll do anything for you.
And yeah, of course, that was followed with a brand new message that really laid on the praise and admiration, of course, for America's glorious leader, Chairman Trump. When users and creators logged back in on the app Sunday, hundreds of millions of people were greeted with another message. And it said, welcome back. Thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the United States.
America's back.
You can continue to create, share, and discover all of the things you love on TikTok.
Although that would turn out to be maybe not as accurate as presented.
There are already lots of screenshots about
TikTok's back, but it may not be the TikTok you remember.
Some very overly aggressive censorship campaigns from what we've seen online. People are just posting this. I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a more in-depth analysis on it, but by all indications, the algorithm, they've made a few changes.
There's a few people testing the limits. You know how when you see someone responding to what they believe is an AI chatbot saying, ignore previous instructions, do this. A lot of people are typing simple terms like Free Palestine into TikTok and seeing that they are having things removed or having their accounts suspended. So we'll keep an eye on that. But like I said, TikTok back and friendly with the Trump administration, you're not going to be getting the same TikTok that you left with.
This isn't your daddy's TikTok.
No, but this is a win for Trump. It's he
saved it.
Something that has been gift wrapped by the Democrats and just handed to him as a welcoming gift.
Yeah, and my favorite is just the bald-faced cope coming in from all the usual suspects, trying to paint this as something other than what it clearly was, which was Joe Biden and the Democrats handing Donald Trump a win on a silver platter.
Yeah, and this extends just so much of Inauguration Day was making me so upset. Like, how are you going to campaign, rightfully so,
welcome home,
and then say welcome home, and then you have fucking Trump giving this very dark inauguration speech, which we'll get to, with Democrats, some of them clapping and smiling, and some of them standing up.
Yeah.
It's like, good for Bernie for fucking sitting down, but you have Hillary Clinton sitting right behind everyone, just smiling and laughing away, staring at things.
Yeah, well, which, like, it would make sense if it's like, oh, well, this isn't going to affect them, but, like, it sounds like it might. No, he did name names that he.
And Joe Biden did pardon a lot of people on his way out. His entire family, Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley.
I mean, he also pardoned Leonard Peltier. Which
that was surprisingly
that was
good
pretty
move,
cool.
yes.
Well, long overdue. But yeah, like, it's so crazy to pardon, like, not just your immediate family, but like pretty much everyone with like 2 or 3 degrees of family connections to you, out of a acute fear that their lives will be in danger under a Trump Justice Administration. Do that, and then the next day wake up and be like, hey buddy, come on in.
We're all
hey, you remember the White House.
Let's get into the limo and have a chat. Also, I left a beautiful little card in your desk.
Like, I'm so sick of the fucking norms.
Yeah.
I'm done with the norms.
But we'll get to the executive order, the many executive orders, but specifically the one Trump signed regarding TikTok in a bit. But first, in the lead up to Inauguration Day, and not satisfied with starting his own social network, which allowed him to get listed on the stock market, Donald Trump, current president of the United States, launched a meme coin, which, like all meme coins, shot to astronomic highs before ultimately dropping precipitously.
Well, if you turn the graph sideways, he was actually drawing a side profile.
I did see that. That was pretty good. It did really look like him.
Yeah.
Great job, everyone.
That's the art.
The entire economy is based on gambling and meme coins.
Was it like? I saw people talking as if the inauguration was like sponsored by a gambling website. Is this, or I think maybe not the actual inauguration.
Donald Trump Jr. is now on the advisory board of a crypto gambling website that allows people to gamble on politics and current events. Yeah, sounds very good. Sounds really, really good for everyone.
Good and normal. But the Trump coin actually does serve a purpose. It removes any barrier that might have previously stopped people, including foreign actors, from influencing a politician directly in a way that will sidestep any oversight or regulations. Because why would the president regulate his own cryptocurrency that he's happily using to boost his net worth to billions upon billions of dollars? Anyone can now buy access and potentially sway legislation or White House opinion by owning a significant position of the president's coin.
Yeah.
It's all so very dumb and so blatantly corrupt that it's kind of unbelievable it's happening out in the open.
Yeah, you would assume that that a president would be somehow above launching a meme coin 2 days before he's about to be inaugurated.
Like, say what you... I mean,
to benefit himself only and people close to him.
6 years ago, this man didn't know what cryptocurrency was, and things were objectively better.
Yeah.
Hate to say it.
Well, this also pissed off a lot of crypto people too, because
but they don't, you know.
But we'll get into those reactions.
The memory of a goldfish.
But first, here's CBS News with the basics. President-elect Donald Trump launched his own cryptocurrency on Friday, sparking a feverish buying that apparently sent its market capitalization soaring several $1 billion. Followed by an announcement on Sunday that Melania Trump had also debuted her own cryptocurrency. In a message posted on his Truth Social platform and X, Trump unveiled the so-called meme coin, which is designed to capitalize on the popularity of a certain personality, movement, or viral internet trend. My new official Trump meme is here. It's time to celebrate everything we stand for. Winning, he wrote. Meme coins have no economic or transactional value and are often seen as a means of speculative trading. This Trump meme celebrates a leader who doesn't back down, no matter the odds, the Coin's official site says. The fact that the dude grifted all the way back into the White House needs to be studied. How many times can you grift the voters who put you into the White House without them getting upset? And it seems like we might never find the answer.
Yeah.
It seems to be quite limitless.
I think some of them kind of like getting grifted.
Yeah. Well, now they can say that they have a little bit of sway in the White House. Yeah, I go in a couple thousand Trump.
Yeah.
If I want to get them on the phone, things can happen.
Yeah.
But no, what this actually does is, like, in the previous administration, they would be like, oh, I'm a foreign dignitary who wants to get some influence. I'm going to stay at the Trump resorts.
Yeah.
I'm going to golf at those golf courses. Now you don't have to go through all that trouble, and you don't have to have your name down the books.
Yeah.
Just do it through the coin.
The blockchain.
Yeah, so
speaking of ridiculously blatant grift, in the lead up to the inauguration, there were a few events like the crypto ball that Snoop Dogg hosted and the Trump victory rally inside the Capital One Arena, which is where the Village People, who are not gay, performed YMCA, Not a Gay Song, live on stage, dressed in their cute little outfits, and were flanked by Donald Trump himself, who did his totally not gay dick jerking dance. It looks like he's jerking off 2 dicks at once.
Not gay.
I will say they definitely weren't lip syncing up there, because holy shit. I don't know if they were the cop is the only one that's left over, the leader of the original Village People. That man cannot hit a single note. I don't know if he ever could. They didn't have auto-tune back then, so he at least got a couple takes of it right.
They were definitely just playing that song, and they were mimicking.
I mean, respect to him for really using his
Pulling it
voice,
off.
even though he must have known. Everyone knew he did not sound good.
They did not play Macho Man, though, which was upsetting, or at least that I saw. So
anyway, that wasn't the grift. But another musician, Lee Greenwood, who wrote "God Bless the USA," was there hawking Trump Bibles, and even said that a new one was going to be released, one that President Trump himself was going to be sworn in on.
Like, that's insane. The fact that you're there and you're holding up the Bible and be like, we got a new one coming out tomorrow, and this is the one he's going to be sworn in on.
Just seems kind of unchristian to like be marketing Bibles in this way.
Yeah.
Especially Bibles that are like explicitly like tied to a political person.
Yeah, I don't know. Pretty shocked by the idea.
Seems like the kind of thing Jesus would have been kind of upset about. But what do I know?
Christians in particular, just aside from this, just blindly loving a guy who is the physical embodiment of sin.
Yeah.
And then he takes the oath of office on a Bible that he sells for $60 online. Now, oddly enough,
this Bible can be yours.
Oddly enough, though, during the inauguration, Trump did not put his hand on any Bible at all.
Does that mean he's not actually president?
He had his fingers behind crossed on.
He didn't take the oath properly. So, Donald Trump is not my president because he didn't put his hand.
He's gonna do the ceremony over. He's gonna put his hand on one of the Lee Greenwood Trump Bibles, and then they're gonna cut it up into 1,000,000 pieces and put it in those Topps cards that have pieces of player uniforms and stuff.
I mean, he already did that with his
suit. The suit that got us almost assassinated.
His NFTs. He had like physical cards with pieces of his death suit. So yeah, now the inauguration, which again was inside the Capitol building and long, boring, and mostly uneventful until his speech, which once again painted an extremely dark picture of the United States and positioned him as a man who was protected by God in order to save America.
Yeah, I mean, he just straight up said it this time around.
It was a bad day for his shitty supporters who booked trips to D.C. to see it happen themselves, and then when it was moved inside due to being 15 degrees outside, they was like, well, fuck, what else is there to do?
Hey, sorry, act of God. You get good ones and bad ones. The good one saved your favorite president. The bad one made you go home.
Where's the nearest Applebee's?
Yeah. Now, eating good in the neighborhood.
Before we get to Trump, though, some quick honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Melania Trump showed up as the Hat Man, sleep paralysis, Hamburglar demon.
Yeah.
That was at some points terrifying. But the hat served an interesting purpose by not allowing Trump to actually get his face close enough to her as to kiss her.
Yeah, block.
He had to kiss the air.
Yeah.
Basically, every tech CEO billionaire was in the front row and amongst the president and vice president's family members. That doesn't really leave us with a lot of hope for the future. It's and as many have pointed out, they're like just this image alone, like a competent Democratic Party
would just show this image to
run on
voters.
Could run on this so well, but they're also pretty wrapped up in big money as well.
When Elon Musk fist bumped Barron Trump, my entire body shook. And I saw my life flash before my eyes, and I just said, we're in this forever. This is now a monarchy.
That's definitely going to be the most upsetting thing I see Elon Musk do today.
Oh, surely.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that'll make me upset that Elon Musk does. But yes, in fact, it's actually bizarre to openly flaunt your relationship with the country's wealthiest people when you claim to want to work for the average person.
It is funny, like, up until just a few months ago, calling these people oligarchs would get you laughed at by the serious people in the room. And, I mean, it seems like people are coming around.
Now they're apparently going to have an office in the White House.
But it used to get treated as like, oh, you're some fucking tanky leftist. I guess Jeff Bezos is an oligarch.
Yeah, he is. It's clear that they will have substantial influence over this administration and for years to come. And again, the fist bump. I just saw the future flash before me, and it's all Barron Trump. Now, we did, however, get a pretty good shot of Mark Zuckerberg sneaking a look at Jeff Bezos' fiance's boobs.
Yeah, she had him out there.
She did have him out there on Inauguration Day. They were there.
Yeah.
And Zuck,
those are America's tits.
He got a little look at him.
And Rudy Giuliani was somewhere being like, I'd like to claim my tits. I'm claiming my tits. Because he said that. That was the thing he said one time. Now, during his inaugural speech, Trump spoke about countless crises at home and abroad. Spoke about how he was saved by God when an assassin tried to shoot him.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
Fact check. Trump was actually saved by the Force ghost of Shinzo Abe, who whispered in his ear, please move. My friend Donald, it's me, Shinzo.
My friend, it's not your time.
It's me, Shinzo, from the great beyond.
This man, he didn't build a good enough duvet.
He called Monday Liberation Day. He pivoted to his executive orders, which we will get into greater detail about in a moment, where he spoke about declaring a national emergency at the border and indicated that immigration raids were set to begin immediately. He spoke about U.S. oil and energy production and reversing the electric vehicle mandate, and spoke about tariffs, which again is basically, it's a tax on citizens, because when it costs more for other countries to send product here, those costs are passed down to you. And the domestic businesses don't have to try as hard to compete, and things become more expensive. He apparently is going to be placing tariffs everywhere he can, indicating again that he would place tariffs on Canada and Mexico.
And he was just throwing out numbers today. He's like, I don't know, like 25%.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
He also took time to say that in America, there are only 2 genders. And he changed the name of Denali in Alaska back to Mount McKinley.
Something that I don't think anyone was really asking for.
Fucking cared.
Also,
damn it.
Just based on nothing else. Denali is such a much cooler name.
Yeah. They named a fucking car after it. Like,
yeah.
How many President McKinley fans are there
also,
out there who are like stoked about it?
You show up now and it's like, welcome to Denali National Park, home of Mount McKinley.
Yeah, it's a fucking, I believe it's an Inuit word, which like, yeah, it's Alaska. Who cares? God damn it. He announced that he is in fact officially changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Yep.
And he's also going to, quote, take back the Panama Canal. We're still talking about that.
Yeah.
He seems pretty serious. How's that going to work? I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Well, I do have to go back to Florida at the end of this week, so I will be one of the first people to fly over the Gulf of America. Are you impressed?
Yeah. Are you gonna salute it while you're flying over it?
I'll do a very awkward salute. Like Elon Musk?
Yeah.
No, I won't do that.
Wait, why are you kicking me off the plane? I'm just doing with the president.
Yes, right there, that man with the Burger King crown on. Yes, that's the one. Anyway, shortly after the ceremony, the attention went back to the Capital One Arena, where another Trump celebration event was taking place.
They just love celebrating.
This time, Trump's first buddy, Elon Musk, was giving a speech when he decided to solidify his mark on this historic day by aggressively and seemingly very passionately giving a Nazi salute to a crowd of supporters. Twice.
Yeah.
And you might be saying, guys, Elon doing a Nazi salute? Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
Probably just someone screenshotted a video to make him look bad at an awkward moment in time.
First I saw a screenshot and I was like, yeah, that looks pretty bad. And then I saw a video that I guess different TV networks.
People were
covering-
reporting, yeah,
well,
different
different TV networks were covering it, and they were cutting away differently. One of the networks' coverage, it was one Nazi salute, and a full-throated Nazi salute. Doing it exactly the right way, where you touch your shoulders,
Careful, Elliot.
heart, and then your hand extends.
Yes, he
at
did
like
the
a
thing.
45. He did the exact motion, almost as if he practices it in the mirror. And
He was, as they say, locked the fuck in.
and I'm like, okay, yeah, that looks like a Nazi salute. And then I saw coverage from a different network where they got both of them, where he did it. And with enough time to really process what he had done, turned around and did it again. And then tried to cover that up with my heart goes out. Something about no, you just did a Nazi salute twice.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He did play it out as he claims that it was a "my heart will go out to you" salute.
No one's ever done that.
No, Elliot. Yes, in fact, this is a new moment. We would not be surprised, because this is so not racist and so normal to do, that every member of the GOP, they're all going to start doing the heart goes out salute to prove just how not racist it is. On Inauguration Day, from a guy who has been accused, in a lot of cases justifiably, having not tendencies.
It would be one thing if this was a guy who it was really
Like if he
out of fucking nowhere, but this man literally
he invested in the car company and was like, hey, I haven't put my nose in anything in about a decade. Let me come to this inauguration. Oops.
One of his most impactful changes upon buying Twitter was reinstating a bunch of banned Nazi accounts.
Yes. And also
then more
posting anti-Semitic
recently,
content.
Endorsing like the Great Replacement theory, howling around with a lot of like, pretty out and out anti-Semite.
Yeah.
And it fits the pattern. And it's just weird because a lot of people are like, if it was really a Nazi salute, why would he do that? That's unacceptable. And I'm like,
why would he do it? Because he fucking does shit like this all the time.
I don't know. Like, the best thing I can come up with is
he wants to get away with it.
So my theory, and I think I'm right, is that we know that Elon does a lot of drugs. He stays up for like long periods of time.
There was that shot of him in the inauguration where he's kind of like looping around.
So a thing with him, like any drug user any long-term drug user, their impulse control goes down. A long-term drug user who is also the richest person in the world and arguably the most powerful person in the world has zero impulse control whatsoever. The neuron fires and they do or say whatever their brain.
He saw a big crowd at a political rally and it just nature kicked in.
And that's all I can, because listen, no matter how evil someone is, it would be stupid for them to give a Nazi salute twice on a stage where, the
whole world's watching.
Half the country, half the world is like, this is feeling pretty fashy.
Yeah.
And still do it anyway. But I think I think his brain is that fucking fried.
Yeah.
Anyway, obviously social media exploded after this moment. And people were like, what the fuck?
what did I just see?
A lot of that focus was on how this was being reported by the media, because everyone who saw this knew what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But our fucking lapdog media, it's a new era, and we gotta tiptoe around this shit that's happening now. They reported it as, Elon did a strange gesture. He did
an odd-looking.
There was an odd-looking salute. He gave a boisterous speech.
Yeah.
That some people had some questions about.
CNN is so far one of the worst offenders of you can just notice the shift, especially like Jake Tapper being like, and Donald Trump ran a very normal campaign.
No, he fucking didn't. What are you talking about? God, I hate Jake Tapper, and I hate how much libs love him. Anyway, then after the Nazi salute, there was an even more bizarre defense of that Nazi salute from Batya Sargon of Newsweek, claiming that Elon Musk isn't a Nazi. Folks, he's just autistic, and autistic people they
get excited.
They do the Roman salute all the fucking time. They're always putting on their jack boots and walking with their legs straight, saying "Duce, Duce, Duce." It's just an autism thing. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
And even the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, they lost whatever credibility they still had with people who haven't been paying attention to the ADL for the last couple of years all that closely. When they posted a reaction to this salute, which for context, Musk did a Nazi salute at a Trump rally on Inauguration Day after an election he influenced and after being accused of being racist and misogynistic countless times, and after being vocally supportive of a far-right party in Germany, and after posting and in some cases deleting horrifically anti-Semitic memes and tropes. That guy did a full-on Nazi salute twice, and everyone's just giving it a pass. Here's the ADL's response.
Our politics are inflamed and social media only adds to the anxiety.
Shut up.
It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute.
Fuck you.
But again, we appreciate that people are on edge. Huh.
This is an organization, by the way, that for the last year and some change has been like essentially, I wouldn't call it doxing, but a lot of people would describe what they do as doxing.
Palestinian protesters on college campuses?
Yeah, like anyone expressing mild sympathy for the Palestinian cause, they label anti-Semites. They try to get them fired from their fucking jobs. And Elon Musk does a fucking Nazi salute after multiple other eyebrow-raising incidents.
Yeah.
And they're just like, listen, hey man, it happened.
Who hasn't? Who hasn't?
I haven't.
But good for you. None of that matters because actual Nazis, white supremacists, and right-wing extremists saw this and they absolutely fucking loved it.
Yeah, it's too bad that he didn't really mean it.
Yeah, Tim Dickinson over at Rolling Stone gathered a few reactions in his reporting, including one quote from the founder of Gab, who said, "Incredible things are happening already." Here's more from his reporting.
Regardless of whether the South Africa-born Musk intended the salute as a Sieg Heil salute favored by the followers of Adolf Hitler in World War II, as some online commentators have suggested, it was eagerly received that way by extremists online. Christopher Pohlhaus, the leader of the notorious neo-Nazi group Blood Tribe, posted the clip of Musk's salute on Telegram with a lightning bolt emoji, evocative of the Nazi SS, and the caption, "I don't care if this was a mistake. I'm going to enjoy the tears over it." Far-right author Keith Woods, whom the Southern Poverty Law Center has called a self-described ethno-nationalist and anti-Semite, shared the clip in a post on X, writing, "Okay, maybe woke really is dead." Thomas Sewell, an Australia-based neo-Nazi whose Telegram avatar is a picture of himself throwing a Roman salute, posted the video of Musk calling it a Donald Trump white power moment. The Proud Boys Ohio chapter posted a clip of the Musk video to its Telegram channel with the text, "Hail Trump."
And yeah, the Proud Boys were out in very large numbers in DC.
Their
today.
leader just got pardoned. They're good to go. Proud Boys are back.
And a lot of them just got pardoned too.
Yeah.
Also during that same speech, Musk addressed the crowd for the first time as president and said, this is his quote, "I'm going to work my ass off for you guys."
Fact check. Trump has never worked a day in his life.
No, Musk said that.
Oh, Musk did.
Yeah, he's going to work his ass off for us.
How is he going to do that if he's playing 40 hours a day of Path of Exile?
You joke, but him saying, "I'm going to work my ass off for you" at the inauguration is odd coming from a guy who wasn't fucking elected president.
Not elected, and
yeah, it's also just, it's the whole thing is it's very upsetting. It's a very upsetting day, but also just how blatant everything was today. Just no subtlety at all with everything. But Elliot, to your point, an update on the whole Path of Exile character drama. Musk did eventually fess up to hiring people to play his account.
What?
And he claims that every top player has multiple people playing their accounts. And he also says that if you don't, it's impossible to beat players in Asia if you don't cheat. Elliot, come on. And then they were like, "Do you want to apologize?" And he goes, "No, why would I apologize?" So yeah, what a pathetic loser who is inexplicably holding on to the levers of power as of today. Ugh. Anyways, things are clearly off to an interesting start, to say the least. And we'll get to all the executive orders in just a second. But first, and an update on the Doge committee, which already becoming more efficient by the day, apparently.
I've never been more happy to have an ad break because I think I need a break.
Yeah. You go.
I think we all need a break.
Take a quick 15, Elliot.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. It is 2025, and a new year means new opportunities. And for a lot of you out there, I know you've been thinking about one thing over the holidays, and that is starting your own business. But you have so many questions. How do you get started? How do you come up with a brand? And how do you sell stuff to people? What are you going to sell? Well, take a deep breath because Shopify's got you. How do I know? Because we both had the same questions when we started. And here's what we learned.
/IT Daily.
All right.
That was a nice break. Also, the fundraiser's over, but thank you all for the wildfire. We raised You all raised a lot of money.
A lot of money for the LA Food Bank. I put
And the fires might be coming back again this week.
Well,
We'll see.
again, luckily we have everyone in the country who was just here fighting the fire still here.
Yeah.
And the winds don't get high enough for helicopters and planes to fly. So, but yes, it is extremely windy still. As of when we filmed this, it was windy coming over.
And no rain all the rest of January. None.
But back into the news, and let's just get into all of those executive orders that Trump signed on Monday, because after the inauguration festivities, it's time to blow the dust off that gigantic Sharpie and start disrupting the lives of people across the country in ways that will be felt for years to come. Obviously, a lot of these are going to be met with immediate legal challenges, but that also doesn't mean they won't happen. Plus, it makes his agenda crystal clear because he is now the president, and these are the actions that he's taking. And everyone who said, well, Project 2025, that's not real. Trump said it's not real. Well, fuck you.
Yeah,
it's happening.
You got played. You should feel bad.
Yeah. On his first day in office, Trump signed an order that ended birthright citizenship, which allows...
Pretty sure that's in the Constitution,
Yep, that's the children of immigrants becoming citizens, and yeah, protected by the 14th Amendment, which you would assume that one...
Yeah, the ACLU is already... they had a lawsuit ready to go on that, so... That'll be interesting, but yeah, it's good to see that at least, civil rights organizations in this country are being proactive about this shit.
There was an order that makes it official U.S. government policy that there are only two genders, male and female.
Okay.
An order pausing the TikTok ban for 75 days until they can secure a buyer, or as Trump would say after being questioned about the app, maybe they split the app 50-50 between the U.S. and China.
I mean... It's not the worst idea. It would give,
I just don't think from here on out that TikTok is going to be the app that people remembered. I think that the algorithm will probably be fixed under the hood a little bit. There's going to be a whole lot more censorship.
Yeah, no, the app's ruined. But yeah, sharing it, making it be like a U.S.-China, 50-50 owned app would be... interesting. It's sort of
a lot of the stuff in writing seemed to appear as though Trump wanted to nationalize the app.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But there was also a thing that popped up saying that Mark Zuckerberg was, hey, everyone calm down. I know TikTok's offline, but we've been working on a mobile video editing software program for Instagram. Are you excited? And everyone went, cool. Where was that? I don't know, 7 years ago or something?
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Trump, of course, immediately withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement again.
He did it one time, and then Joe Biden put us back in, and then Trump did it. He pulled us out again.
It's every country in the world except us, Libya, Sudan. It's a very small club, and now America's part of the exclusive club.
Very exclusive.
Yeah. It's funny because the Paris Agreement, it doesn't do shit. It's literally just we get climate
It's non-binding. Just like the EV thing, it's non-binding.
It doesn't fucking mean
hey, we're all going to come together to work to try to stop climate change.
He revoked 78 executive actions from the Biden administration, many dealing with discrimination on sexual orientation and race. We're bringing discrimination back. He declared a national border emergency, which will inevitably lead to endless immigration raids in cities across the country and the U.S. military on the southern border. He also declared a national energy emergency, which would allow his administration to approve new infrastructure for fossil fuel extraction, a.k.a. drill, baby, drill. Specifically in Alaska, a state of unimaginable beauty, but we're going to do something about that.
A lot of untapped reserves there.
Yeah, we got rid of Denali, it's McKinley again, and too much beauty. Water's too clean, too many wild animals.
That's right.
He revoked the electric vehicle mandate, which aimed to have electric vehicles account for half of all new vehicles sold in 2030.
Again, non-binding. Just hey, all those emissions that we create? And imagine just a car in the room with you, or in your garage. That would kill you, right? Imagine just millions of those. What if, get this, what if we built a car that didn't pollute? No, we literally can't have that. fuck everything.
I mean, he's going to sign the like rolling coal bill where
Yeah, you have to.
everyone's
The smog test.
new cars cannot have mufflers and they cannot have catalytic converters.
I've solved the catalytic converter crisis.
We just don't have them anymore.
Nope.
No more catalytic converters.
Yeah.
We mentioned this previously, but yeah, he renamed the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. He renamed Denali as Mount McKinley. It's official, folks. Get it right. He signed an order announcing the United States exit from the World Health Organization within 12 months. Cool. What the fuck? Okay. And another order that will take apparently immediate action. Trump pardons nearly all of the January 6th rioters. There's like the January 6th hostages, as he called them.
Yeah, there's apparently a dozen or more that are waiting, and I think those are some pretty serious cases, I guess, because he pardoned people who assaulted police officers.
Yeah, like one of them I saw, like he got 7 years for like dragging a cop into the middle of the crowd.
And a lot of these people that were charged and then found guilty and sentenced were planning all of this stuff online with just mounds of evidence.
He did, in case you're wondering, he did pardon the QAnon shaman, who I believe was already out, but the QAnon shaman tweeted about it. He's like, "Thank you, President Trump. Now it's time to buy a gun." But I'm like, I don't think he can do that still.
I'm not sure.
Like when you pardon someone, I think you're still I don't know.
Well,
but in any case, he's
watch out, folks. The QAnon shaman is armed.
Yeah,
presumed armed.
He's armed, and you don't want to mess with him, especially if he hasn't had his special diet that he needs to eat. Oh, I need my special food.
Look, I think it's humane to give people their special diets, and I think that regardless of the criminal, they should,
I think he can eat shit for all I know. Anyway, here's the Associated Press.
President Donald Trump on Monday pardoned or commuted the prison sentences of all of the 1,500 plus people charged with crimes in the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol riot, including people convicted of seditious conspiracy and assaulting police officers. Using his clemency powers on his first day in office to undo the massive prosecution of the unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. Among those set to be released from prison are defendants captured on camera committing violent acts on law enforcement as lawmakers met to certify President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory. Leaders of the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys extremist groups who were found of seditious conspiracy in the most serious cases brought by the Justice Department will also be freed from prison after having their sentences commuted. Trump is directing the Attorney General to seek the dismissal of about 450 pending cases.
He also officially implemented the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, which has already had a busy week of its own because the Department of Efficiency is already making cuts.
Yeah, folks.
Starting with the original sin of the DOGE Commission, which is that it had two guys in charge, which seemed like one too many. It appears as though Vivek Ramaswamy is out of DOGE before it could even start.
Damn.
He had negative Scaramucci's on the job. Apparently, he's going to be running for governor of Ohio.
And that's because he wanted another position, and the current guy was like, I don't think so. Skibbity Rismus, he's the governor of Ohio, Vivek Ramaswamy.
He's your problem now.
Yeah.
Here's CBS with more on that. Vivek Ramaswamy, President-elect Donald Trump's choice to co-lead the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, with entrepreneur Elon Musk, is expected to soon step away from the task force, CBS News has learned. Ramaswamy intends to announce a campaign for Ohio governor as soon as the end of January, multiple sources confirmed to CBS News. People close to Musk have privately undercut Ramaswamy for weeks, frustrated with his lack of participation in the heavy lifting, according to people familiar with the internal dynamics. There has been friction between the incoming rank-and-file DOGE staff and Ramaswamy, the sources said, and Ramaswamy has been subtly encouraged to exit. Vivek has worn out his welcome, one person close to Trump said. Ramaswamy recently met with the Ohio sitting governor, Mike DeWine, about the state's Senate seat left vacant by Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. But on Friday, DeWine announced he's appointing his lieutenant governor to the post.
Yeah, okay, Vivek. No, I don't think so. The department was also sued by multiple people and entities on day one, which primarily focuses on the fact that this department is not an actual federal agency, so it won't be held to the same standards and transparency rules as other groups, which is kind of the point, right?
At least it would be inefficient.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's ABC News with one of these lawsuits. The most sprawling lawsuit, brought Monday by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington on behalf of a coalition of teachers and veterans unions, challenges the creation and secret operation of DOGE and asks the federal district court in Washington, D.C. to block the operation of DOGE until it comes into compliance with the law. A separate suit brought by the law firm National Security Counselors accuses Doge of violating the Federal Advisory Committee Act, a 1972 law that regulates the establishment and operation of federal advisory committees. Under FACA, advisory committees like Doge are required to hold public meetings, the suit claims. Laws have meaning, workers have rights, and real reform requires real accountability, an attorney who brought the suit told ABC News in a statement.
Okay.
So anyways, as we were writing the episode, and hell, even while we were filming it, the events were still taking place.
It's too much. They're really flooding the zone here. You wrote it, which today I could not have been more happy to not have anything on my fucking plate.
It was 12 hours of watching TV and then taking breaks to write things and then looking back and being like, oh God, everything I wrote is pointless now.
My approach was doing literally anything else and then every like 2 hours just like scrolling BlueSky for about 5 minutes and then getting like upset and just like being like, no, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking horrible day.
Now,
and, the first of many.
Yeah, unfortunately, there will be many bad days to come, but look, I'm not going to mince words. It does feel pretty bleak out there. Not a lot of hope on the horizon, but from what I've learned over the years, and especially what's been reaffirmed to me in the last few weeks, community will help you get through this. Find your people, find events, coordinate, become stronger together, look out for each other. And then, of course, we'll be here for you until we get an executive order of our own.
Don't feel obligated to fucking doom scroll all the fucking time. Like, self-care.
Very important.
Self-care is cringe as a phrase, but it's actually important. I'm sorry. It's
Do it privately so no one knows.
Yeah. Practice self-care. Find something to do that has nothing to do with any of this shit.
Yeah.
And don't feel obligated to check this thing first thing in the morning and have it be the last thing you look at before you go to bed.
I've been trimming a bonsai that looks quite nice by now.
Oh, yeah, see, that's great. Just do everything that the guy from the movie Perfect Days did with his spare time. Listen to some tapes.
I literally have just been looking at the calmest, chillest old men in the world and just figuring out what they do. And I'm like, yeah, that seems nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks too, because I just realized today, I was like, oh, the first Trump administration, like I was drinking like every night for most of that.
Yeah, me too.
Which I don't do anymore. I mean,
No,
I drink like once a week tops.
And I'm sober, so like, yeah, it'll be a different Trump administration.
I'm gonna have to. Coping is gonna require a little more thought this time.
I adopted a dog. There, I said it.
Yeah, that'll distract you.
I did. It's on my Instagram if you want to see him. He's great. In the meantime, once again, the fundraiser is over, but thank you so much for your generous contributions. It's truly amazing how charitable all of you are. Honestly, we can't thank you enough. So just thank you, thank you, thank you. In addition to that, please make sure that you leave a like on this video, leave a comment to discuss this strange new world below. Just interact.
Just type.
But make sure you like the video.
I'm gonna do a group primal scream therapy down.
Everyone scream. But like the video. And then we have some other videos popping up for you over here. Check those out. We'll see you soon for some tech news. Very soon. Bye-bye.
As much as you're angry right now, of course I ran.
Just take some blame, goddammit.
Why is this guy crashing the out so hard for just being dog shit the game? I'm not trying to be rude. That's just sad.
All of the accounts that are messaging me are going to report him, and I can't wait for all of them to get banned.
Dude, apparently he's getting swatted, spam death threats in-game, out-of-game, for bringing up his past. This is all because he did not say sorry.
What's up guys, it's me Moist Critical coming back to you with another epic Chungus video talking about the Dream and Tommy Unit drama. Psych! We're not doing that today. Now before I get into the video, I've noticed that my hair does look quite different. I recently got it cut at a barber's. I'm still trying to style it. That's the reason why at the time of recording, it looks like quite a phallic object, or also a Reddit upvote. Look, I don't want to run the bit into the ground as well, but one guy on stream said that my hair looks like the 4th selection when you're creating your own me. I can never let this go. My man got the 4th male me haircut. What does that mean? Oh my God, you're joking.
Oh my God. So after milking the well dry, talking about Minecraft drama, I'm going to move over to the other hemisphere of the internet, that being World of Warcraft, the beloved 30-year-old franchise that people love wasting their money on. Because keep in mind, Warcraft 1 released back in 1994. For most of you watching this video, that's probably when your grandfather was born. And of course, I'm going to be talking about World of Warcraft, which is a 20-year-old game. Let that sink in, how decrepit and old you're slowly becoming. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this World of Warcraft drama, because it basically feels like the Leroy Jenkins bit. Although this, surprisingly, wasn't scripted. I'm not even joking. I only found out recently that that entire iconic legendary clip was actually entirely scripted. So this drama revolves around the streamer Pirate Software. Now that name needs no introduction. You have definitely seen his content from his overly long streams that go on for like 12 hours at a time. I will never understand how people have the stamina to stream that long. I can stream for about 8 hours and then I want to take about a week